Amy's Free Motion Quilting Adventures. You can find my blog at Free Motion Quilting Adventures. And someone posted a really cool Zentangle on the internet and asked on Google Plus and thought it would make a really cool quilting design. And so I just felt challenged by that, and I decided to try to do it myself. And this is essentially based on making series of lines that start at one point and come about 1/4 of an inch away at the other point down here. And so it's a ray, a triangular pointed ray, and it's made in a triangle. So as you go in, it gets into this nice cool spiral shape. And I thought it was just a great design to use rulers with. And of course I'm sewing on my Janome 6600. I've got the convertible free motion foot set on my machine along with the ruler toe that you can buy for the 1600 that works on the regular free motion quilting set. And I'm using my ruler. I've got a straight ruler from Accents and Design, and they've got a nifty little line scored in 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. So since this design needs to end, I start at a point and I come out where I end 1/4 of an inch away from the original line. I can put the edge of my ruler, you can't see that right now because I'm too far away, the edge of my ruler right where I need to stop, and because of the 1/4 inch foot, it will end up 1/4 of an inch away. Get on up here, maybe you can see it a little bit better. I did set my camera away a little farther so that you can see the whole design as I stitch. But I've got the ruler set right where the previous line ended. So because of the 1/4 inch diameter of this, well, 1/2 inch diameter of the foot, which means the needle is in the center at 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, my line will be 1/4 of an inch away from the previous line. I will have a post on my blog about this showing some still pictures and a better written explanation. And I'm going to continue on. I hope this thing isn't too long. I hope my chair doesn't keep squeaking as I sew. And once you get used to moving it around, you can do this pretty quickly. You do have to kind of watch for puckers in your fabric because you're stitching right towards another line that's already been stitched across, so you can kind of end up with a little wave across in front of your foot. You don't want to stitch a tuck. And I am rotating this. This can be done without rotating it, but because I'm just making a square on a practice piece, and because I'm videoing myself, I'm going to rotate it. I did do the first one trying to not rotate, and I think this is probably a design you would not use on a large quilt. So I think doing this with rotating it is perfectly fine. If I wanted to use this on a large quilt, I'd maybe think about doing a quilt as you go method. Especially with a sewing machine instead of a long arm, we are kind of limited with our field of visibility here. I can't see so much back in behind the foot unless I really get low in my chair and kind of slouch to look up underneath the needle. And that's okay. There are pluses and minuses for deciding to use your domestic machine for free motion quilting instead of a long arm, just like there are pluses and minuses for using a long arm. And I think you can get incredible results either way with practice. Now this design certainly could be done without rulers, but with the ruler you can get those lines so nice and straight, which is part of how the illusion of the spiral is created. I don't know if I would recommend drawing the lines out and then stitching them. You certainly could do that. For that matter, really, you could do this with a walking foot if you wanted. Especially since I am pivoting my work. There's no reason why you couldn't do this with a walking foot, really. And it's slow at first because you're doing long lines, but once you start getting into the smaller areas, it goes a lot faster. Woo! Especially if you go fast like that. There we go. Now I know that I have seen this quilting design. It's essentially a Zentangle. I think that's how it's spelled or pronounced. It's a drawing technique. I've seen this used on quilts in a book. I think it was Zentangle Quilts or Zendoodle Quilts. I can't remember the name. So this is not unique to me. It's just I thought that the design really lent itself to ruler work. And ruler work is what I really enjoy showing. I'm going to have to experiment with a few of these designs, just because I think it's kind of a great way to practice using your ruler and getting comfortable with doing ruler work at your domestic machine. Also, a lot of practice on stopping exactly where you want to, because it's easy to overshoot the line that you're ending at if you're not careful. You see how it's starting to take that spiral shape. Squeak goes my chair. And getting into the center. And one more stitch to finish it up. And then I'm just going to put my ruler aside, and I'm just going to stitch by backtracking back up to the center of this square. And I'm not using my ruler because this line is slightly kind of curving, and that adds, because I'm backtracking, makes this line a little bit darker than all the rest. Here's where I've backtracked, here's another spot where I backtracked, and gives that illusion. So anyway, there is not quite half of the block done, and I'm going to continue on and stitch, and I'll be posting the rest of this on my blog. That's Amy's Free Motion Quilting Adventures on the internet at freemotionquiltingadventures.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more of my videos. Bye bye.